What's up, y'all? Welcome to another video. I'm in my car. I'm out and about. I'm out in public, right? I started this series on my Instagram, my TikTok. We're trying to record more in public, and right now it's gonna be my first YouTube video out in public. Now, I have done one before, actually in the same exact place, but I wanted to bring my tripod out, and I really wanted to just fully express myself. I really wanted to go out there, hold this camera out, and not be shy. I really wanted to operate like my highest self. And I want to start this series where I go out in places in public and just be me, go record, spread content, spread love, spread this message, and make my videos a little more dynamic. So, with that being said, I'll be heading out there, setting up a tripod. It is raining a little bit, so who knows? Maybe I'll just be walking around a little bit more. But yeah, that's my plan, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any more recommendations of where I should go or where should I record, feel free to drop a comment. But yeah, if you have any suggestions as well, how I can further improve this series, it's going to be a brand new series, me overcoming my fear. And yes, guys, throughout me coming over here, before that day, before, there's anxiety of just thinking about it. There's this resistance within me that's like, man, how are people going to think of you? How do you think of yourself? Aren't you going to be embarrassed, etc.? But that's just that ego trying to make you comfortable. That's that ego trying to keep me comfortable, keep me out my comfort zone, or keep me in my comfort zone. And one thing that I had to realize is that all those fears, anxieties, that uncomfortability, it's just illusions that the ego's creating. And the highest version of me doesn't care what people think. The highest version of me is going out there and making content. So yeah, I'm gonna go out there. Catch you on a sec. I'm out here in public. It's feeling pretty good. I'm not feeling too bad. I have my little water cup Starbucks drink with me. But yeah, life's not too bad, guys. I feel like this whole journey, this whole series is gonna be a very big breakthrough for me, One thing that I was always stuck on was just like really caring what people thought about me. I put up this camera, people were looking at me, especially people who are like in my generation, younger people, how they perceive me. But one thing that truly helped me like fully step into this person, fully step into this content creator, was to just operate like I'm that person now, Like how would that person who is recording content, who is, serving people in the community, who is giving out calls, who is a coach, who's known online, act in public, how would they pull out their camera? How would they react if people look at them? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're gonna forget about this, this interaction or me in like the next day. So why not make your first impression being yourself? And that's something that really stuck with me. Whenever this fear, whenever this anxiety, whenever this resistance comes up, I constantly remind myself like, hey, I am this content creator. I am this person who has a social presence online. I do make an impact to people's lives, and if people see me, they see me. I'm being who I am, and it feels good. Now that I'm out here, now that I have this tripod and camera out, I'm feeling good. I'm not really feeling any more resistance, and it just goes to show that this fear, that anxiety, that resistance, that embarrassment, that prediction that your ego tries to portray inside your mind, it's all an illusion. Once you're out here and you truly step into your highest self, then there really is nothing stopping you besides your own ego. And that's gonna be like my highlight for this series. I'll probably put it in like a playlist. You'll see where I go. But yeah, I'm excited. And if you are in the DMV area and you have any ideas for me where I can go, please let me know, because I would be glad to check out places. Looking to explore my horizon or expand my, I don't know, you know what I mean. But yeah, my main message for today, besides the whole fear stuff, was that self-love is not making yourself comfortable, okay? And people think comfort is more like, I get to sit back and relax and, I just love myself to death and get what I want. Like, no, of course there are going to be times, there are going to be places where you do need to put your foot down and do things you're not used to doing. Make yourself uncomfortable. And that's what's part of, self-love. That was kind of, this mom and daughter just walked by. I mean, hey, just me and me. But yeah, anyway, the self-love stuff, it's more of like you love yourself enough that you won't let yourself slack off. You won't let yourself, snooze your alarm. You won't let yourself just watch YouTube, watch TV for way too long, and take care of yourself. That's what true self-love is. It's not letting yourself slack off. It's not letting yourself stay comfortable, because at the end of the day, that's more of like self-hate. You don't really love who you are. And that's why I feel like the overall theme with self-love is to love yourself throughout the journey of you acquiring what you want. Because if you don't love yourself now, then when you do get the stuff you want, you won't be able to enjoy what you have. Because you'll constantly be searching for more. You'll be constantly searching for more external things to fulfill that hole within. And if you watch my videos for a long time, you know that's a common thing I like to say. Nothing external can make you feel anything within. I mean, it's because it's true. A lot of people think it's the money, it's the fame, it's the wealth, it's the health. I mean, health is, of course, an important thing. Everything I just named is an important thing. But in order for you to feel that security that money brings you, in order for you to feel that love that you think that fame and wealth will bring you, you must feel that first. You must feel it now. And not be so warped into acquiring that thing first in order for you to feel it. One thing I do notice is that, like, a little off topic, but if people do see, for instance, if you are someone who is trying to show themselves self-love, right? This act of me facing my fear is an act of self-love. And so, I wouldn't take any criticism. I wouldn't take any negative thing as a reflection of you. If someone were to come up to me, make fun of me, maybe they look at me, maybe they say something under their breath, etc. It's more a reflection of how they feel about themselves inside. It's not about how I feel. It really doesn't matter, because it's just the fact that they can't go for their dreams, that they can't do the things that make themselves uncomfortable. So they have to shame other people in order for them to feel, like, hey, it's not just me. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this off, and we'll continue this as I'm walking. And yeah, so continue doing you. I say continue facing your fears, continue showing yourself the love that you want to show, and be who you want to be. But back to my overall message. A lot of people get it kind of the opposite. They believe when you love yourself too much, or you love yourself, etc., that it's to a point where you make yourself a little too comfortable. You make yourself like, man, I don't know. They think it's for like girls, a lot of guys especially, and that's what a lot of people don't get. Is that when they love themselves, they think it's more of like a feminine thing, and that's why most guys go through mental health problems, because, well, they don't really love or appreciate who they are. They kind of neglect who they are. They don't really love who they are as a person, so they continue to go in that negative spiral of, I gotta get more of this, I gotta get more of that in order for me to feel love. And then they realize that it never brought them love in the first place. So you gotta continue feeling that love first for it to actually feel good. All right, I'm back walking. I'm not gonna lie, there's someone screaming.
I'm not new to this. Like, don't talk to me like I'm dumb, or like I don't know what I'm doing.
Anyway, but yeah, so self-love really shouldn't be something that you think is sort of like embarrassing, because that's one thing that it is when it comes to facing your fears. A lot of people, your ego likes to make you think that it's embarrassing to do the things you want to do, and instead it really is just, self-love really isn't necessarily something to make you sad. In God's reality, you doing what you want to do, facing your fears that really just illusions, it's nothing bad. It really is just, it's what God would want for you. So I wouldn't really take it like that. I'm not gonna lie, I really do love this place. It's a very beautiful place. I sort of already finished up this video. I believe self-love is a lot less making yourself comfortable. I'm pretty sure it's more about making yourself uncomfortable and stepping into God's reality. That's the main thing. Another main point I want to make clear is that it's for you to stop living in that ego world. It's for you to stop living in your head and start living in this present moment. Stop worrying about what people think. Stop worrying about those illusions inside your head, those fears, anxieties, and all those predictions that the ego try making. Um, Continue living in this present moment, living in God's world where He wants you to do what you want to do, becoming your highest self, showing cars OD loud, showing yourself that you can't be that person and not worrying about it. But yeah, I'll give you guys an update. My last final thoughts, I would say. It has been a little weird. It's been a little tough recording out here because, well, right before this, like I said in the beginning of the video, I was nervous. I really was. I was sitting on my tripod. I was looking around, seeing if people were looking at me. But one thing I can say is that no one cares, you know? Go out there. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. You know, if you could take this video and maybe this can inspire you to become who you want to be, I would love this. I would love for this to be that video because I'm just like you. The person who's watching this video who is scared to pursue their own fears, just scared to pursue their own, you know, share what they want to share. Maybe it isn't even consecration, but it's something that's outside your comfort zone. Go out there and do it. You know, I don't like saying this, but you only live once. You know, I want you to really take this in consideration. You know, like how much more time are you gonna waste inside your room contemplating whether or not you should be doing it? And the only reason why I'm calling you out is because, well, I did the same thing. I would contemplate whether or not I should go out here. I would contemplate whether or not this is a good idea. And, you know, I was luckily able to step out of that and do what I want to do. But it's the first step. It's the first step of making yourself go out here. It's the first step of setting up your tripod and recording. It's those first steps that count. And one thing I could say when you are out here is just to continue to stay present. You know, don't worry about what people are thinking. Don't worry about what the ego or what the enemy is trying to put in your mind, and just continue to be who you want to be. You know, I'd say it's like that. Nothing too bad. But yeah, sorry, this whole family just circled me. I was kind of confused. I feel good though. I really do. I love the fact that I'm out here. This is one of my biggest acts of self-love this year, because, you know, me a month ago, I'd be way too scared to pull out my tripod. I'd be way too scared to go out here and even record. You know, I'd probably just end up shying away, going out to eat, and then going back home, and then just getting mad at myself. You know, but it's those small wins that I was able to accumulate. It was those small acts of self-love of me, you know, showing up for myself, showing up every single day, getting used to pulling out my tripod, getting used to people looking at me, and, you know, being authentic, being me. And I want you guys to, I keep saying it, I really do want you guys to be able to face your own fears. That's what this whole series is going to be about. No matter how awkward, no matter how uncomfortable I may feel, pushing myself to just go out there, I believe is going to be able to help you guys out as well. Quick little thing, I kind of wanted to add this for you guys. I really do love what I'm doing. And something that came into my mind was I saw this guy who was working, cleaning tables, and he looked at me, right? And I was like, man, like I'm not shaming him. You know, he's working, he's doing it, he has his own journey. But I'm so happy I'm able to come out here and record videos, you know, be someone who's facing their fears and doing what they want to do, and not really worry about, you know, having a clock or having a boss, or, you know, knowing when I can or cannot do something, because, well, I'm on my own schedule. And I don't know, that gave me that. I felt so free. You know, I was like, man, I really am doing what I want to do. And this is just my first step, you know, doing things that are outside my comfort zone, to truly prove to myself that I am this person. I'm evolving, that my consciousness is changing. And I hope this helps you guys as well. But yeah, that's something I wanted for you guys to kind of take a look at as well. Like, are you much, like, be grateful for what you have, you know? Are you much freer than you think you are? I'm not saying compare yourself to other people, but really take in what you have and appreciate that you are becoming the person you are becoming, and learn to love the process. You know, I may not have the multi-million, you know, like all those things that I want, you know, the desires. I may not have the followers, I may not have the money, but what I do have is this experience. What I do have is this freedom to be able to go record, what I do have is, community like you guys. So, and yes, this is like the more authentic. This is the more beginning of what's new. And I hope you guys do enjoy this. I hope you guys can take away from this as well and go for things you want to go for. Maybe I can create a whole community of people who, go out their own comfort zone, because I am just like a person like you guys. So that's my final message. Hope you guys have a good one, and God bless.